What's going on, people, and welcome to my post-match recap and player ratings for yesterday's game. Brentford 4, Manchester United 0. I predicted 2-0 Brentford, so it was twice as bad as I predicted. They fully deserved the win. They were a better team than us. They had more chemistry, more fluidity, more idea on the ball. Defensively, they had shape. Everything we didn't have, they had. And they deserved the win because of it. Ten Hag, I didn't agree with his full lineup that he went with. I wouldn't have had Maguire in. I wouldn't have had Bruno in. I wouldn't have had Shaw in. And I probably wouldn't have had Rashford in either. So there's a whole lot of changes there I would have made to start the game with as well. But at the same time, these players should be good enough and better than they're showing, even with the ones he's picked. And it has to fall on the players more than Ten Hag for me. I don't know why we can't even give an average performance in terms of just being competitive, because we got absolutely dominated. We made them look like they were Real Madrid, and it's pathetic. I like Brentford. I like what they do. I'm glad that they are up in the league. I think they deserve it and how they play. But we made them look like Real Madrid, and we make a lot of teams look better than they probably should look, and that's a huge problem. I thought Martinez struggled again yesterday. Very poor ratings. When I get into my ratings in a minute, it's some of the worst I've ever give. But to be honest, I know we've had a lot of, excuse my French, shit show performances in a number of years now. But that is one of the worst I've seen in years. Like, that's up there. And even Ronaldo yesterday, I just thought he didn't have a ton of service. But even when he was involved, I thought just not good enough either. But no one player can do it on their own, no matter who it is. And this is the problem. A team of individuals, or better individuals, will always lose to a team that are fluid and have chemistry and play as a team. And that's the problem we have in this side. We've just had Eriksen come in, but he can't integrate properly because we've just got a team of individuals. No one's gelling. Everyone just looks at each other and blames each other instead of taking it as a responsibility, as a collective and as an individual. Everyone just points the fingers at each other. Maguire's face yesterday after one of the goals went in, he just looked like he just had a death in the family. And that's your captain. He was terrible again yesterday. De Gea, usually our player of the season, most seasons in recent years at least. I thought he had a shocker yesterday. And it's not all on him, but I thought he had a shocker. I couldn't even defend him yesterday. I thought Tony and Mbeumo up top caused us problems all game. The midfield battle we lost from the get-go. And we debuted our third kit yesterday, which I'm going to get, the third top. I love it, the lime green. They called it a lime marker pen colour. And it's a shame because I want to get that top. I'm going to get the top. But now when I wear it, I'm going to think of that first game in it and the performance we put in. It's not a surprise to me. That's why I predicted us to lose 2-0. But again, they exceeded how shit they are. The expectations, they exceeded how bad they can get. You don't think they can get any worse. And then they go and prove you wrong again. And it's terrible. Like, the players that we've got, even though they're individuals, should still have a certain standard and a certain level of team chemistry and to be able to play as a team. But yet there seems to be zero. Ten Hag was shaking his head at 2 or 3-0 yesterday. Like, Ranić was meant to come in and change this team, and they wouldn't let him. That's down on the owners and the board. Now Ten Hag's in position. He didn't get all the signings he wanted. That falls on the board again and the Glazers. But still, even with all that going on, these players should be going on that pitch and putting in better performances week in, week out, even with this squad. Because yes, we need more players in and different types of players, but the players we have should be performing way better than they are. And they're an embarrassment. They all down tools, they all give up. And even Ronaldo now seems like their mentality is just... It's not like it's Ronaldo anymore either. Brentford fully deserved the win yesterday, but it was twice as bad as I thought it was going to be. We've got Liverpool on Monday, the following Monday coming. Like, that's probably going to be about 7 or 8-0. Like, it's going to be embarrassing. Like, I know we sometimes show up against Liverpool and bigger teams, but I really can't see how we're going to this time. I think Salah will probably get a hat-trick at minimum. It's just... there doesn't seem to be a bar anymore, a certain standard of what is expected of you, not just as a player, but as your mentality, your philosophy, you as a character, as a person in and around the training ground and the dressing room. I don't know where it's gone. Like, it seems to be like we're not Manchester United anymore. Like, we might as well rename the club, because it's not what it was and what it always has been. And it seems to be getting worse. And I think Ten Hag's got an impossible job, because I used to think it was on the managers. I used to think it was on Ollie. I used to think it was on Moyes. And to a certain part of it, they have to take blame. But this has highlighted to me that it doesn't matter who the manager is. We could have Guardiola or Klopp, Ancelotti, Ferguson. I don't think anyone would get anything out of these players, because they don't respond. They can't do what the managers are asking them, regardless of who the manager is. They all have different philosophies, and none of these players can adapt to anything. And it's shocking. Let's get into the ratings. De Gea, 1, is at fault for at least 2 of the goals. He give that ball to Eriksen in the box when he should have put it out wide to Maguire. Gives it to Eriksen with a man straight up his arse, and you can see him there marking him that tight, and he's still giving the ball. Ultimately, Eriksen loses it, but it's not on Eriksen. De Gea should not be giving Eriksen the ball in that position, and we concede from it. And I think he just had a shocking game yesterday, De Gea. So 1 for De Gea. Dalot, 2. I just thought he was all over the place, out of position so much. Terrible. Maguire, 2. Turns like a bloody freight train. The speed of a freight train. The amount of replays I saw where they counted on us, and he's not even starting to run back yet, and they're like halfway up the pitch already before he's even turned. 2 for Maguire, and that's your captain. Didn't know what to do at any point in the game. Didn't lead at all. Martinez, his size got the better of him again. That Ben Mee header, he falls over Ben Mee, mind you, as he's stumbling backwards and falls over. As he's falling over, he scores as he's falling over. And he's falling backwards, and he still beats Martinez to the ball in the air, and he doesn't even really have to jump. I like the look of Martinez in the pre-season against, who was it, Vallecano. I thought he looked quality, and since the league started, he looks proper out of place and off speed and just not at it. 2 for Martinez. Shaw, 2. I don't think he should have started. Malacia should have started for me. From the first game against Brighton, I think Shaw was the best of the back 4 in that game, but not by a lot, not by a long shot. But he was probably the best of the back 4 for me in that first game. But Malacia was better in pre-season than Shaw, and I think he deserved to be starting that game. So I don't understand why he didn't come on. I know he came on, but I don't know why he didn't come on earlier or even start. Shaw, 2. And one of the goals as well, where they counter on us, and Tony puts that ball across, and Mbeumo scores. Shaw's got enough time to get back and beat Mbeumo, but it looks like he's just not hungry and doesn't want to win the ball as much, and we lose a goal because of it. So 2 for Shaw. Eriksen, I'd give him a 3, had a weak header on target, tried to get involved, but the amount of time that we had the ball was just atrocious. Didn't really have a lot of opportunity to create a lot. I don't think he was the worst, but definitely not great. 3. Fred, 2. Energy, but quality wasn't there again. Giving up possession again. Just can't shoot, makes the wrong decisions, weak on the ball. He's mobile, but makes the wrong decisions. It puts him in trouble all the time. 2. Bruno, 1. The amount of shots he skied over the bar was ridiculous, that most players should be getting on target, let alone one that's supposed to be as good as he was in that first season that he showed. I don't know where that player's gone. He's petulant every game, bitching and moaning more than he's concentrating on the game and what he has to do to help his team. He shouldn't have been starting for me, and he proved it again. 1. Sancho, I thought looked positive when he had the ball, but the trouble is he was hardly on the ball, but he looked lively when he did get on it in brief moments. I thought he was one of the better players again. So 3 for Sancho. Ronaldo, 2. Early shot, but just straight at the keeper, and then he was just falling over all the time, wanting fouls, a bit like Bruno does, and waving his arms about and stuff at other players, but he himself was poor as well. So he got man of the match on the player ratings on a website thing that I use, and I don't know how he got man of the match, because he looked poor to me just as much as most of them did. So 2 for Ronaldo. 2 for Rashford. Poor decision making again. Could have had an assist at one point for the Eriksen header, but Eriksen didn't get enough power on it. But that also comes from the delivery, because how you pass the ball to someone tells that player how they should react to it. And it didn't have enough whip on it or speed. It was just a floated cross, which Eriksen couldn't divert enough power onto it. And as I said, didn't make the right decisions for me again. Didn't have a lot of the ball, but when he did, he ran into people again, and just not good. The subs were Elanga, McTominay, Donny, Malacia and Varane. Varane should have started for me. Came on, I thought he was solid. Probably give him an average. Malacia, I'd give him a 6. I actually thought he did all right. Won some tackles, some blocks, and he looked positive. I actually give Malacia my man of the match, and he only played about 10 minutes, so that tells you everything. Donny, again, I don't think I noticed him when he came on, to be honest, so probably a 3 or a 4 for Donny. McTominay, I'll give him a 1 because he come on, he got booked again. Thinks he's a hard man, thinks he's Cantona, and you're not, you're shit. A 1. And Elanga struggled to get into the game again. Didn't have a ton of time, but didn't really impact as a sub. I'd probably give him a 2 or a 3. And then Ten Hag, it's not all on him, but I don't agree with certain players that he started, so he has to take some responsibility for that. And like the subs that he brings on, I thought he brung on too late, most of them, so got a few things wrong for me. I'd give him a 3. Man of the match would be Malacia for me, and he probably played about 10 minutes. So that tells you everything you need to know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Your man of the match, what you thought of the game. We got huge problems at this club, and it seems to be getting worse. And I don't know where we're going to go, but we seem to be going into a black hole even further. So might as well get the popcorn out and enjoy it while we can, because make the best out of shit, basically, because that's what we're getting. So we got to find some sort of positives, and to be honest, we are a joke. I was watching it yesterday with my boy saying this is just ridiculous. It's like we are a comedy club. We might as well rename ourselves to Comedy FC, because we are that bad at the moment. We are the laughing stock of the English Football League. All leagues I'm on about, not just Premier League. I'm on about League 1, League 2, Vanarama, all of it. We are the laughing stock. Manchester United is the laughing stock, and that is where we are. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. 2,000 subscribers by the 1st of December. Make sure the notifications are on and you're subscribed. I'll see you soon.